Shalom Aleichem Rabotai. Mishnah Yomi is continuing in the fourth parak of Maaser Sheni. Today we learn Mishnah 9 and 10. I need to state a correction on Mishnah 7, Mishnah Zayin. I had said the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. No, the halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. And that Mishnah was about using context. For instance, he's Podeh Maaser Sheni, and he doesn't say it, but from the context we know what he's doing. And if the man is being Mekadesh a woman as his wife or is divorcing his wife, and he's not saying the words exactly, but we know from context what's going on, then Rabbi Yossi says that's enough without saying it explicitly. The Gemara in Kiddushin Daf Vav actually brings this Mishnah and has a discussion that Rabbi Yossi's halacha applies when they're asukin be'oto ha'inyan, when they're really on that topic, and then he gives the Kedusha and he does what he needs to do. When they're really on that topic, they're not going back and forth from topic to topic. So that's the clarification on Mishnah Zayin. And now we are moving on to Mishnah Tes. Kol amaut nimsaim. If you find money on the street, harelu chulin, you don't have to assume it's Maaser Sheni. You can assume it's chulin. Afilu dinar zahav, ima kesef, v'ima maut. Even if there is gold and silver and copper all together, which you might have assumed is something people do when they're redeeming Maaser Sheni, which is of a certain value. They might need some larger denominations and smaller denominations, different materials in this case, to get you a different denomination to redeem the Maaser Sheni. Even so, we can assume it's chulin. Matzah b'toch cheres k'tuv Maaser. So here, this cheres is like a label. So he finds it in a pouch with a piece of cheres that says Maaser. That's like the label for these coins. And then you know they're Maaser because they've been clearly labeled. In the absence of a clear label, then they are not Maaser Sheni. Now the Bartanura brings an exception. He says this applies except in Yerushalayim during the Regel, because in Yerushalayim during the holidays, people would be bringing their Maaser Sheni up to Yerushalayim, so a lot of the money in Yerushalayim then was actually Maaser Sheni, and you could not assume it was chulin. Continuing to Mishnah Yoda, Motze Kli, B'katuv alav carbon. You find a Kli, a container, a utensil, and it's labeled carbon. There's no money in it, Rosai. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Im Hayashal Cheres. It's a Kli Cheres. It's pottery, it's earthenware, it's inexpensive. Hu chulin u'mashu b'tocho carbon. The Kli itself is chulin, and they've labeled the Kli because what's inside of it is for the temple. Either they're going to bring it as a carbon, it's a flour or oil or something like this, or it's going to be bedek abayas if it's not something that's fit to be a carbon. Im hayashal matechet, but if the Kli itself is metal, it's gold, silver, hu carbon, that's being given, donated to the temple, u'mashu b'tocho chulin. But if there's some material stored inside, there's oil inside, we don't assume that is a carbon also, just the Kli itself. Amru lo. So the other sages said to Rabbi Yehuda, Ein derech b'nei adam liad kainsin chulin lekarbon. They say it's not normal for people to store unsanctified chulin items inside something that's going to be a gift to the temple. So in their opinion, if there's a label carbon on the utensil, the metal utensil, then the utensil is being brought as a carbon, and so too what's inside is being donated as a carbon. This reminds us of the mitzvah of bikurim, when they would bring the bikurim, the first fruits, to the temple, and sometimes they'd bring them in elaborate kind of baskets, and sometimes gold baskets that were also donated to the temple. Shkoyach Rabosai.